Hello beans, my name is Aqua and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today we are back in my testing world. No, this isn't my creative testing world, this is my technical building testing world because it's not even a testing world. My brain is not working today, please bear with me. We are back on the technical building series world and today we are talking about depth. Welcome back to the series. This is the second video. In the first video, we had a look at this incredibly long line of stuff to do with texturing. You're probably wondering why this wall looks suspiciously similar to Tango's starter base from Hermitcraft Season 8. I may have copied him. Please don't judge me. I just really like this block palette. And it's actually a very good example. As you can see here, I like the block palette. It's got a nice vibe going on. However, it's very flat. It's very, very flat. As you can see, everything is on the same plane. And the whole point of texturing is to try to avoid everything being on the same plane. A better example is from this oak wall. I have gone and textured this up so you guys can see that it's not texturing that's the problem. It looks quite good because it's textured, but it's still very flat. If we go up to, everything is on the same plane yet again. With this wall, however, I have added to the texturing by bringing out the trapdoors slightly and by inserting stairs, and this has helped a lot. Now, why is this important? Basically, in real life, everything is not on the same plane. We have, take a wall of bricks. You will have the bricks sticking out slightly and the mortar sticking in slightly. In any natural wall, there will be indentations and outdentations, if that's a word, which it's not, but oh well, it's a word now. And this is not carried through to Minecraft, similar to texturing, because everything is very blocky and it's extremely easy to make everything line up perfectly. And this does not look natural and your eye just doesn't like it. It looks very flat. By adding depth, by using the staircases and the trapdoors and stuff, it adds a lot more interest, similar to how texturing adds interest, but in a different way. You can kind of see what I'm talking about, how this is a lot more interesting to look at than this is, even though they're basically exactly the same thing, except this has a little bit sticking out and a little bit sticking in. I didn't think it was worth adding a section on how to physically add depth, because it's extremely similar to texturing, and if you haven't seen my texturing video, I will run through it very quickly. You basically just randomly add things going in, like the staircases, and trapdoors going out. That's pretty much it for this kind of texturing. It's very simple, and then for the other kinds I will outline very clearly how to do it. Some easy ways to texture. As I said, down here we have the pillars. Any sort of pillars in your build, you can make them stick out. This will add kind of more depth and more shadows, and you can see a window slotting in this place very nicely. Also, these can then become actual pillars for your builds. They can help support your builds, make them look like they are structurally sound and like they're actually holding your builds upright. For any of the block types which have stairs, you can use the stairs trick. So here are a few, all of the different wood types, the different stone types, and a few other things too. I spent way too long getting these to alternate. I don't know why I did it. I'm a massive perfectionist. This makes me happy. These alternating in and out make me happy. Happy bean! And then anything with trapdoors, again, you can also add on top. Make sure that they're sticking out, so then they add depth again. This is basically just the wood types. You can also do it with iron trapdoors, but that is a massive pain because you have to power all of them. So I just stuck with the wood types for this one. Another easy way to add texture into your builds is by windows. Now, everybody needs windows in their build, else it looks weird. And I've seen quite a lot of people who use windows like this. They use the whole block of the glass, and then it means that everything is on the same plane, yet again. So a very simple way to add depth using windows is just to use glass panes, because then you get that half a block indentation back, and it adds a lot more depth and interest, and you can see that this is a lot more interesting to look at than this. And also, it doesn't quite work here, but for slightly bigger builds, you can have the whole glass block back a block. So if you're doing a big mansion with big windows, then this little glass pane bit might not be enough, so then this would work incredibly well. Also, just some detailing tricks work very well for adding depth. So any sort of details which you add to your builds will be sticking out or dipping in some way and will add the interest that you need in depth. I am going to probably, hopefully, if I remember, I probably won't, but I might make a video on some of my favourite detailing tips and tricks and just some ideas which you guys can add into your own builds. But for now, an awesome channel who, let's be honest, everybody's heard of him. Grian is amazing at doing these building tips and tricks videos. He does one for basically every update. Go check out his channel. He's much better at that sort of thing than I am. Go check out the Greeny boy. But a few of my favourite detailing things are window boxes. As you can see, we just outlined a few blocks of grass with trapdoors, and it adds the depth that you need. It sticks out. I also added a little thing on top of this so that it didn't look imbalanced, and again that sticks out, adds interest. And then a frame around doors. I love doing this. You just add a little thing on top and then things either side using either fence posts or walls. Another quick thing, similarly to the glass panes, I always like to put them back a block. For example, if we just grab a jungle door, if we pop the jungle door in front like this, it looks very flat. It's all on this, this adds the depth and the interest, but it's not quite enough. This doesn't look quite right. However, if we add it at the back of the block, then it looks a lot better. Another quick way of texturing, wait, no! Why have you oxidized? I thought I used the oxidized types. Maybe I didn't. Do not deoxidize! Anyway, here I have another cute roof design which I've put together, and I like incorporating depth into roofs. It makes them look, because often roofs can look very boring and uniform, but by texturing and adding depth, the combo of these two is very, very powerful. I have just added some trapdoors here and there. I've added some blocks pushed back, and I really like this trick here. You basically use a slab and then a full block, and then it looks very similar to the staircase bit, but it's pushed back by half a block, and so it gives this really nice illusion. Quick note on depth, very similar to texturing. The more that you add depth, the more weathered or run down a build will look, especially when you use depth and pair with texturing in a kind of random sense. New shiny pristine townhouse, I would probably texture just with these two blocks, but I wouldn't add the depth. However, if this was more of a run down rustic sort of build, then adding loads of depth and loads of texturing would make this look really good. And now I'm going to go through a few examples of using depth in action. This is my creative test world. You've all seen it before, the pond and the townhouse and the cows everywhere, cow infestation. But yes, a few ways which I've used depth in this. I forgot to mention on paths and any sort of floor thing, using buttons as like little pebbles adds depth in very simple ways. There's this whole meme about builders placing buttons everywhere and spamming buttons, but it does work. When used in moderation, these buttons add a lot to this path. I could have also used the staircase thing, but I didn't. Instead, I added these light things on pillars, which helps bring it off the ground a bit, and I've added slabs at the edge, which again look like big pebbles, and it helps add depth to the path. Naturally, moss blocks have a bit of depth by having the carpet and the normal thing, so you don't have to do much there. With this tree, I have gone ahead and added some roots. I've also added these stones along the edges because, again, this was looking very flat and not grounded enough, so I added a few pebbles around the edges, and that helped quite a lot. Where have all my axolotls gone? I swear I used to have loads of axolotls, and now they've all disappeared. Oh. I used to have like 10 million, and now I only have 3. I think they keep going onto the land and suffocating. Oh, poor axolotls. I'm sorry. You three, I'm going to keep you alive for as long as I live. And then if we move on to the townhouse, again, lots of ways I've added depth here. I've added things going in and out in the builds, like this balcony here comes out a bit. I've added things on top. It's less detailing and less depth in the walls in this one. I have added a bit behind these pillars because it was looking a bit flat, and a lot more of the detailing. So for example, the window boxes, I've added structures around the windows to make them look more grounded into the build. I've added a path with stairs going up to the door, again frames around the doors, little chairs here. All of this stuff, the good stuff that adds the depth and makes it look cool. There's lots of things out there about tips and tricks for detailing. So yeah, do some research, go watch a million videos on Instagram and then never come off Instagram for the rest of the day. No, don't do that. That's a very bad idea. Or you could watch videos on YouTube. As I said, Grian is a great recommendation if you want more of that sort of thing. Yeah, and just adding detailing into your builds will automatically add depth. And yet again, I tried to improve this thing. I tried to add a roof. It still doesn't look right. I can't make this work. Please ignore this. I don't like it. I've also added some depth to this nether portal build. Again, you've seen it before. By adding a second layer. It was all looking a bit flat. I've added these little blackstone pebbles and a few bigger rocks jutting out of the ground. And again, with this build, I have used some of the path blocks to add a bit of depth and the fences around the edge and stuff. Yeah, path blocks are actually very good at adding subtle depth. Otherwise, this path would have looked very flat. But to be honest, with the texturing as well, it all looks okay. And then if we hop inside this build, we can see I have added depth to the floor using the staircase and trapdoor thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It was a bit shorter than the previous one. I have slightly less to say about depth, and also there wasn't all of the different combinations because depth is pretty much across the board, whereas texturing you need to know like all the different combo thingies. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've already said that, but I'm saying it again because I'm surrounded by Cinnabuns, and Cinnabuns make me happy. Yeah, I will see you guys next time. I just managed to stop myself from saying I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's pretty much it. Yay. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.